Hailing from the small town of Norfolk, Massachusetts, please give a warm welcome to Joe Johnston.
I want to take y'all back 6 years ago now to the start of my sophomore year of college up at the University of Massachusetts at Amherst, right? Sophomore transfer student at the University of Massachusetts at Amherst, and we're on the 18th floor of my dorm room, right? Transfer student, I'm sitting there looking at the window, looking down on the ground, I'm thinking to myself, part of my language here, but I'm thinking to myself, why do I feel this shit all the time? At that point in my life, while everyone around me was seemingly having the time of their lives, they had everything together, I was miserable. I was eating like crap, I wasn't going to the gym, I was hanging out with kids who were not good for me, I was going out probably 3-4 days out of the week, drinking, doing drugs, smoking weed pretty much every night. My drug of choice, it wasn't my drug of choice. And I was in so much pain that I didn't know how to get out of it, right? And my next thought as I was sitting there on the 18th floor looking down was, man, wouldn't it just be so much easier? 50% of college students reported their mental well-being to be below average. 50% of college students, if I divide this room down the middle, 50% of you in an anonymous survey would report your mental well-being to be below average report. And that's an issue. That's an issue, truly. That's why I'm here today. So I'm getting paid to be here today in front of all y'all because this is clearly an issue that needs some assistance, right? And the reason I believe this is such an issue today, on top of social media, on top of the crazy technology that's really affecting our mental and emotional well-being, the reason I believe and I'm confident that this is such an issue today is because we're not treating it in the right manner, right? Our mental health system, what we're doing is we're treating symptoms as opposed to healing roots. This is how I want us to think about our mental and emotional well-being. What we're experiencing is symptoms. Something happens in our environment, we get triggered. Something happens, we get anxious. We have these patterns in relationships. We get depressed, we drink a little too much, we overeat, we binge eat, whatever it is. All of these things, while not to be diminished and certainly are all very painful, they're symptoms. They're symptoms of a deeper root. You can tell that I say this with conviction and confidence because over the past 5 to 6 years, what I found is that what you see on the surface is usually just a symptom to something deeper. It's a pattern to something deeper that's there. And so ultimately what I want us to think about is, what is this signaling to me? What is this triggered from? Maybe when did this start in my life, or where is this root from? Because that's ultimately what all of these symptoms are. And so when we're talking about roots today, what we're ultimately talking about is this scary word, which I don't think should be that scary, is we're talking about trauma. 6 years ago was probably, and I would say almost most definitely the lowest point in my life. I was struggling, and I didn't know how to get out of it. I was just in so much pain, mentally and emotionally. It was brutal. I was anxious, I was depressed. I didn't know what was going on. I wasn't treating myself well. And one of the worst parts about it was I knew there was this misalignment. I knew, in addition to not feeling good, I knew that there was so much more for me to give. And I had a vision of where I could go. I had these dreams that I wanted to be fulfilled, but I just didn't know how to get there. There was resistance. There was things that were holding me down. We have these ideas, we have these ideal versions of ourselves, ideal versions of our lives, the work that we want to be doing, the relationships that we want to have, the money that we want to be making, the businesses that we want to build, whatever the heck it is. We have these dreams, but then there's a disconnect from that world and what we see and where we actually are today. To get to that point and to get to that vision, you have to do this deep work. I truly believe that with all my heart. You have to do this deep work, because if not, you're never going to believe in yourself. You're never going to fully believe in your work, because these subconscious patterns are going to be playing in your head, holding you back from living that life. So as I leave you here today, my friends, I encourage you to start attending to your mental and emotional well-being. Start taking care of your mental and emotional well-being as you would any other aspect of your life as individuals. Start healing those parts of yourself. Tony Robbins once said, you heal the boy and the man will appear. Heal the boy, heal the girl, and the man will appear, the woman will appear. Do this deep work, and I promise you, you can have whatever you want. Make more money, have a better business, have better relationships, whatever the heck it is you want. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate your time.